So yeah, we about to do The Real You by Ali Watts since a recent newly sub suggested that I should watch The Real You by Ali Watts. I don't know which one it is. I have these. I wish she had dropped a video link or something. But there's these three, but I'm gonna just watch these two. Because this one was posted 2 years ago and it got 209 views. But it might be these two combined. Who knows? But that's a little bit more. That's a little bit more. But we're gonna start with a short one or a long one. We're gonna do the long one first.
What you do.
Here we go. Really bad. I know watch, y'all. Let's listen up. Let's listen deeply. Hopefully I can focus and stay run off 4 hours of sleep here.
What you do is what the whole universe is doing at the place you call here and now.
Okay, going to watch the movie
You are
G20.
something the whole universe is doing in the same
G20?
way that a wave.
That was a good movie. I thought you already watched that. I didn't know you was in here. But yeah, that was a good movie, G20. You enjoy that. Enjoy that. Good movie. Good movie, game. That's crazy. Wait, hold on. We gotta start over. Why? Why? Why does it do that? This bar bothers me. Alright.
What you do is what the whole universe is doing at the place you call here and now. You are something the whole universe is doing in the same way that a wave is something that the whole ocean is doing. This is not
Guys above, sub below. Guys, that's what I got from that. That's what I got from
at
that.
the place you call here and now. You are something the whole universe is doing in the same way that a wave is something that the whole ocean is doing. This is not what you might call a fatalistic or deterministic idea. You see, you might be a fatalist if you think that you are a sort of puppet which life pushes around.
Right. Ain't no puppet.
You're separate from life, but life dominates you.
That's
fatalism.
true. Wait. What? Fatalism. Life dominates you. Let's hear it one more time. Let's hear it one more time, y'all.
If you think that you are a sort of puppet which life pushes around, you're separate from life, but life dominates you. That's fatalism. But in the point of view I'm expressing, the real you is not a puppet which life pushes around. The real deep down you is the whole universe.
Mm-hmm.
And it's doing your living organism and all its behavior.
Yeah.
It's expressing it as a singer sings a song.
That's random.
We've been hoodwinked into the feeling that we exist only inside our skins. And I was showing last night that that is a hallucination. It's just as nutty as anybody could be, like a fruitcake, you know, who thinks he's Napoleon or something or other. Thinks he's a poached egg and goes around finding a piece of toast to sit on. It's just like that, a hallucination.
I missed that. I missed that. And there was a little laugh too. I missed that. Oh, it's good. I drowned
Just
myself
as
out.
nutty as anybody could be, like a fruitcake, you know, who thinks he's Napoleon or something or other. Thinks he's a poached egg and goes around finding a piece of toast to sit on. It's just like that, a hallucination. And I was showing how we need to experience ourselves in such a way that we could say that our real body is not just what's inside the skin, but our whole total external environment. Because if we don't experience ourselves...
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The stance. It's the stance. The stance. I'm trying to pay attention.
Not just what's inside the skin, but our whole total external environment. Because if we don't experience ourselves that way, we mistreat our environment. We treat it as an enemy. We try to beat it into submission.
That's deep.
And if we do that, comes disaster. We exploit the world we live in. We don't treat it with love and gentleness and respect. We cut down millions of acres of forests to turn it into newspaper, of all things. Lovely trees turned into information about nothing.
Bro, no way, bro. Information about nothing. That's real. That's real because it really doesn't even matter. Like, not making all of this up. It's a bunch of boats. What y'all doing?
And we don't replace them properly. We kick the world around in revenge for feeling that really we are puppets which the world kicks around. So my main point last night was then that we need a new kind of consciousness.
Okay, hold up.
In which every individual becomes aware that his real self is not just his conscious ego.
Yes. He cooking, he cooking.
Know, let's take a headlight of a car. The headlight shines on the road in front. The headlight does not shine on the wire which connects it with its own battery. So in a way, the headlight is unaware of how it shines. And in the same way, we are unaware of the sources of our consciousness.
Bro, no, that's deep. That's deep. That's a lot of things, though. That's a lot of things. Wow, let's hear that again. Let's hear it again, bro. No.
You know, let's take a headlight of a car. The headlight shines on the road in front. The headlight does not shine on the wire which connects it with its own battery. So in a way, the headlight is unaware of how it shines.
Right, the wire.
In the same way, we are unaware of the sources of our consciousness. We don't know how we know. There was a young man who said, though, it seems that I know that I know, what I would like to see...
Nah, not that. Not that phrase is back, bro. It seems that wait, I'm trying to figure out if I remember it. It's not, wait, how do you start that off again? It seems that I know what I know that I know. I don't know, I can't remember, bro. I knew I couldn't say it in that last video. Hold up.
We don't know how we know. There was a young man who said, though, it seems that I know that I know, what I would like to see is the eye that knows me.
I almost had it. I'm missing out a lot of words, but I said it. I can't remember what I said. Yo.
It seems that I know that I know. What I would like to see is the eye that knows me when I know that I know that I know. And so we are ignorant of, we ignore, it doesn't come within the scope of our attention how it is that we manage to be conscious, how it is that we manage to grow our hair to shape our bones, to beat our heart, and to secrete all the necessary fluids that we need from our glands.
True.
We do it, but we don't know how we do it.
True.
Because you see, underneath the superficial...
Hold on, I gotta hear that one too again. Hold on.
Grow our hair, to shape our bones, to be... No, it doesn't come within the scope of our attention how it is that we manage to be conscious. How it is that we manage to grow our hair, to shape our bones, to beat our heart, and to secrete all the necessary fluids that we need from our glands. We do it, but we don't know how we do it. Because you see, underneath the superficial self, which pays attention to this and that, there is another self, more really us than I. And if you become aware of that unknown self, the more you become aware of it, the more you realize...
I'm sorry, he's walking like he's really strutting. He's really strutting. You know what I'm saying? And it just seems like he's just enjoying life. I would like to be where he is. You know? Oh boy, look. That walk is happy and confident and just, like, I don't know, dude. Let's try to listen.
us than I. And if you become aware of that unknown self, the more you become aware of it, the more you realize that it is inseparably connected with everything else that there is. That you are a function of this total galaxy, bounded by the Milky Way, and that furthermore, this galaxy is a function of all other galaxies.
Okay.
And that vast thing that you see far off, far off, far off with telescopes, and you look and look and look, one day you're going to wake up and say, why, that's me. And in knowing that, you see that you never die.
Wow.
You are the eternal thing that comes and goes.
Yeah.
Appears now as John Jones, now as Mary Smith, now as Betty Brown, so it goes forever, ever, ever. Now then, why I made this point as an introduction to what I want to say tonight is the problem of the relationship of man and nature. Do you know, in the history of philosophy, there are really three theories of nature. Incidentally, what do you mean when you use the word nature? What is nature study? Natural history. The Museum of Natural History. What do you expect to find there? Well, for many people, nature means the birds, the bees, and the flowers. It means everything that is not artificial. People think, for example, a building like this is not natural, it's artificial. The natural state of the human being is to be naked, but we wear clothes, and that's artificial. We build houses. Is there any difference between a human house and a wasp's nest? Or a bird's nest? Not really.
Yo, that's nature. Wow.
But we do have in our minds, you see, the idea that nature is somehow outside us. We've got some nature in us. We say there's a thing called human nature, and mostly bad. Human nature, according to Dr. Freud, is motivated by the libido.
Libido.
And you know what that is. And you can't trust it.
Wait. Libido. I've heard that before. Libido. No, I gotta look it up. Gang. Libido. Ah! Hormones. Individual variation. Relationships. Okay. Yeah. Alright, bet.
In the old days, they used to beat it with whips. But Freud said, don't do it that way. You have to treat it as a good horse trainer trains a horse by giving it a lump of sugar.
Love and sugar.
Every now and then. And get it controlled that way. Be kind to it. Respect it. Even though it's really very, very disrespectable. Well, now, there are, as I said, in the history of mankind, 3 theories of nature. The first theory is the Western theory, which is that nature is a machine or an artifact. We inherit this from the Hebrews, who believed that nature was made by God in somewhat the same way as a potter makes a pot out of clay, or a carpenter makes a table out of wood. It is not insignificant that Jesus is the son of the carpenter. Our tradition has been to look upon the world as a construct, and somebody knows how it was put together. Somebody understands, and that is the constructor, the architect, the Lord God. But it so happened that in the 18th century, Western thought began to change. They became increasingly doubtful as to whether there was a maker, whether there was a God, but they continued to look upon the creation as an artifact, as a machine. And by the time of Newton, people were explaining the world in terms of mechanism. And we are still under the influence of that idea. Which life pushes around.
He was still talking. Wait a second, dude. He was still talking. What the heck? Leliante. Lely. Let me in my ear now. Dang, bro. Wait, what did he end it off with? He was like, hold on.
We are still under the influence of that idea. In the world, in terms of mechanism. And we are still under the influence of that idea.
All right, he was talking about the 3 theories, right? All right, we gotta find the rest. What the heck?
You're ready to wake up, you're going to wake up. And if you're not ready, you're going to stay pretending that you're just a little, poor little me. And since you're all here and engaged, you're not serious about. But I assume maybe you are, not serious but sincere, that you are ready to wake up.
The background noises are annoying. This is the first part of what we just watched, and it's way more dramatic. It's way more dramatic, more intense, you know? But this one, yeah. sleep and never waking up, bro. You be in your own world, like you be traveling different places. Like my dreams, my dreams are so vivid. I don't know where I be at. I don't know who I be with. I don't know, but I be having a good time. Most of the time, it's a small percentage, something insane, crazy. But most of the time, it's fun experience. Like to wake up after never after after never going to sleep. Wait,
What was it like?
what was it like to wake up after having never gone to sleep? Gang, what? That's one I have to think. See, I was thinking about that, but like we went from going to sleep to like, you know what I'm saying? Going to sleep and never waking up, then waking up, never going to no, never going to sleep. That's crazy. No, that's crazy. I feel like I have like a little memory of when, like before I came into this world. Just it was like vast, just like darkness right before I saw the light. I don't know. I don't know how to get really deep into that or like express.
I believe that if we are honest with ourselves, that the most fascinating problem in the world is who am I? What do you mean? What do you feel when you say the word I? I, myself. I don't think there can be any more fascinating preoccupation than that, because it's so mysterious, it's so elusive. Because what you are in your inmost being escapes your examination in rather the same way that you can't look directly into your own eyes without using a mirror. You can't bite your own teeth, you can't taste your own tongue, and you can't touch the tip of this finger with the tip of this finger. And that's why there's always an element of profound mystery in the problem of who we are.
What?
This problem has fascinated me for many years, and I've made many inquiries. What do you mean by the word I?
All right, so We're just gonna skip. If it's different, then I'm gonna come back to it. I'm gonna do a different react.
And this energy is blind. This energy is just energy. And it's put together by a celestial architect, carpenter, and artist, who therefore knows how it was done. When I was a little boy, and I asked many questions which my mother couldn't answer, she used to resort in desperation to saying, "My dear, there are some things that we are not meant to know."
Dang, that's true. Well, okay, well, I think I'm gonna cut that, and I'm gonna do this one like by itself in a different one, maybe next Monday. Um, cause it sounds different. It sounds different than the other things, right? Dang, almost 2 hours already. Heck, what the hecky? What the hecky, ante?